Now that the outrage against Ellen seems to be getting worse and worse as more's exposed about her, the prospect of her show getting cancelled seems to be more likely. And if her show gets cancelled, or if she's just fired as a host, the next logical question is, who's gonna replace her? Hey, what's up everyone, it's Mackenzie here, and today on IO I'm gonna be filling you in on the top 5 celebrities that should replace Ellen DeGeneres. There have been tons of names getting thrown around of people that seem to be in line to replace Ellen, with one of the most common being James Corden. But honestly, I'm just praying that it's not true, cause he allegedly has even worse of a mean streak than Ellen, if you can believe it. And just because some of these names are getting thrown around as to who could potentially take over, doesn't mean they're the most deserving. Which is why I'm pumped to be telling you some of the names that people online are thinking are the best fit for the show. But before I get into it, make sure to like and subscribe below, also ring the bell and check out our playlist to see more top 5s just like this one. Okay, now let's get into it. Starting off at number 5, we have Ellen Page. Right after Ellen's joke about quarantine being like jail really started to create backlash online, a few petitions were made saying that actress Ellen Page should be the one to replace Ellen DeGeneres. With the obvious reason being because they wouldn't have to change the name of the show at all because they both, have the same first name. With one of the petitions reading, quote, Ellen Page is a much better Ellen to host the Ellen Show. Ellen DeGeneres is a hetero that just happens to be gay. Ellen Page is a much better host because she's way more gay. So I mean, there's one opinion. One of the people that signed also left a comment condemning DeGeneres, saying they supported the campaign because Ellen DeGeneres has made offensive comments towards a community of convicts, ex-convicts, and to every person that struggles to survive in these hard times. Ellen Page has been an active speaker for equal rights and has proven to be more professional and socially conscious than Ellen. With that person most likely referring to the time that Ellen supported Chris Pratt on her show, even though he had ties to an anti-LGBTQ organization. With Ellen Page calling out the actor for these ties, saying that the damage she's doing by not addressing these connections are severe. Others online also added it wouldn't be right to replace Ellen with someone straight, and it should be another openly gay person like Paige. And at number 4, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was someone whose name has been thrown into the ring on Twitter after backlash came out against Ellen, as people think she's the perfect mix of a bona fide celebrity, but also someone relatable that women all over the world could see themselves in. However, what people might not know of is that it's impossible for Drew to replace Ellen's show, because her own show is actually airing very soon. On September 14th, the Drew Barrymore show will be premiering on CBS, with the actress saying, quote, it's beyond my wildest dreams to have this opportunity for a daily talk show. I'm truly thrilled and honored to be creating the show with CBS. And although everyone is thrilled for the daytime show to premiere, there are a handful of people wondering whose place this show will be taking, with some even thinking there could be a possibility it would have taken Ellen's spot. However, now that we're so close to the date of the premiere, that seems not to be the case after all. But hey, nothing's saying she couldn't replace Ellen in the future, right? And at number 3, Kristen Bell. Someone who actually has a lot of people thinking she's Ellen's replacement is Kristen Bell, with US Weekly stating that Warner Brothers execs have been priming Bell even before the Mean Girl criticism surrounding Ellen came out, with them maybe planning for a refreshing new host after all the years Ellen has been on air, with the source telling them at that time Ellen had not signed on for another 3-year contract, and it seemed like she might have been thinking of retiring. Although in May of 2019 she did end up signing the contract to be on the show until 2022. But at that time she did tell Deadline that she was torn on whether to continue or not with the show, saying she loves the show but loves doing other things. And obviously with statements like that, it makes sense that Warner Brothers would plan for some backups like Kristen Bell. With another source telling Us Weekly, with Ellen's PR disasters, suddenly Kristen's name keeps coming up. She's quietly been honing her hosting chops. Everybody in town loves her. And now that there are claims that A-list celebrities are refusing to come on the show, now with all the bad press, they need that replacement sooner than later. However, along with the story that the network had been priming Bell for the role, OK Magazine published a similar story. But that tabloid claimed that it was actually DeGeneres herself who was grooming Bell, with their sources saying, quote, everybody knows that Ellen doesn't want to do this forever. The thinking is that she's gonna renew for 2 or 3 more years, and in the meantime, Kristen will be primed for a big takeover, a source said. And this really makes some sense also because Ellen and Kristen are really good friends, with Kristen defending Ellen and George W. Bush's friendship last year. So I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. And at number 2, Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes is another person that people are touting online as the best person to replace Ellen with. The first reason is that she's honestly just so entertaining and down to earth, like literally, how could you not love her? But also another reason is because she's also openly gay, and like I said before, people want Ellen to be replaced with someone who is gay or trans to ensure that representation doesn't go away. Also, Wanda had her own show back in 2009, so she's familiar with hosting and already knows a lot of the behind the scenes that goes into hosting a show. Wanda even got a nomination from another celebrity to host a show, with Jamila Jamil tweeting out, quote, "Wanda Sykes for the Ellen Show and for every show, please." However, she did end up deleting that tweet. I'm not sure why, but I would love to know the tea on that one. And the last reason people have for why Wanda would make a great host is because she already guest hosted the Ellen Show once before in 2019. And obviously she was hilarious and made tons of jokes, poking fun at the audience, which they all loved. And finally, number 1, Tig Notaro. Tig Notaro is another person who seems to be a shoo-in for the role, especially because she's openly gay and is also a stand-up comedian just like Ellen was before she made her show, with people thinking Tig would be the best way to create some sort of continuity between the host and the audience. And unlike Ellen, Tig isn't a super rich and famous multimillionaire, so again, audiences could really relate to her, especially since Ellen has become more unrelatable over the years as her show has grown. Notaro's already hosted one great talk show, and a lot of people think her indifference towards the pop culture sphere could be a refreshing take on the other hosts that are just kind of ass-kissing the whole time. And the last and best reason Tig should be Ellen's replacement is because it would be the perfect ending in the whole Dakota Johnson versus Ellen debacle. And if you remember, Dakota called out Ellen for lying about not getting invited to her birthday party when Ellen actually was invited. Then after some of the awkwardness had sort of dissipated and Ellen asked about the party to change the subject, Dakota brought up how Tig was her favorite comedian, which was kind of an unintentional backhand to Ellen. And it got super awkward after Dakota corrected herself and said that Tig was actually her second favorite comedian after Ellen, of course. Then Ellen made a little dig of her own by saying she was gonna have her favorite actress on the show, Jen Aniston. And after that whole debacle, it would be kind of cool if Dakota's favorite comedian, Tig, actually ended up taking Ellen's place, and that was kind of like foreshadowing. Alright, that's all for this list today, but since I only included 5 and I had some more time, I wanted to list off a few honorable mentions that I saw a lot as well. I saw Kate McKinnon's name being thrown around, who's a fellow gay comedian, and there was also some people vying for Keke Palmer, now that she's getting more into the hosting game. As well as Jane Lynch, another gay comedian, and Laverne Cox was also mentioned because she's a trans woman and activist. At this point, if her show does get cancelled, I don't care too much who replaces her, as long as it's not James Corden. If you saw my video on Meet the Celebrities, then you already know why. Alright, so that's all for this list. Let me know what you think about this below. Who do you think is the best person on this list? And if there was someone I didn't mention, why do you think they might be a better fit? But before I head out, I'm going to shout out some comments from my video on influencers who are too big to get cancelled. And I think a lot of people didn't understand what that video meant. It's basically that they should be cancelled, but they never will no matter what because they have too many fans that will stand by them. That's kind of what it meant, not just like regular people that are really good at what they do, like, you know what I mean, Mr. Beast isn't getting canceled anytime soon, but like people that are problematic that like should be, that aren't. So Rena said it's because of their fan base. Most of them just offend them or ignore it. Agreed, I think they just kind of ignore it and try to see the good in them, which is fine for, you know, small mistakes that people make, but for some bigger ones, like, that's when people need to be calling out their favorite creators. Then HY Martia said, "You are never too big to get canceled. Look at Ellen DeGeneres." True, even though her cancellation is very strange, like she's getting canceled for just being mean, which is something that we've really never seen before. She didn't actually like do anything really horrific like a lot of other people, like she's just a bad person. So it's kind of funny that she didn't, you know what I mean, do anything wrong, but because people are so shocked that she was kind of just playing up her image, like wolf in sheep's clothing sort of thing, people are like losing it. But I feel like she would still get sponsors, like she would still get invited to events, so she's a strange cancellation. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Then Steffi Lovely said, "I wasn't expecting David to be on this list. I really hope he's not racist, but I feel like before racist jokes were just more comical and not taken serious, we will never know." Yeah, I personally don't think, you know, he's racist at all, but I do think the way he handles things doesn't make it look too good, honestly. Alright everyone, that's all for this list today. Thank you so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here, and be sure to like and subscribe below to see more. Also follow the team on the gram if you want to see more of us, and I'll catch you in the next one.